Leo, happy June 2017. This is Dark Dove Tarot. Hope everybody is doing fantastic. As you know, I always pre-shuffle the cards, but I like to add a little energy as we get started. Again, hope everybody's doing well. I've changed up my reads a little bit. I'm going to focus more on singles and people who are broken up looking to reconcile. So I'm not going to be splitting it up into singles and couples. If that bothers you, please let me know. Just the majority of the private readings I've been getting are from singles. The majority of the comments and whatnot have been from singles or people who are worried about their exes. So I'll bring up anything pertaining to couples as I go along, but this is going to be a general read for love, for, you know, anybody, but I won't be splitting it up between singles and couples. I'll just kind of announce any situation that could be prevalent to that card. So again, as I said, this is general, so always check your sun, moon, and rising to see if you can get a little more clarity on what you're looking for. I hope everybody's doing fantastic. As I said, I like to move pretty fast because I don't want to take up too much of your time. If you have any comments, questions, would like to subscribe or like. If you want a private reading or donations, the information is at the bottom in the description. Again, hope everybody's doing fantastic. Let's get started for Leo, June 2017. So coming into the month, we always do your current position, and you have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is all about childlike innocence. So originally this would tell me, for those of you who are dating or looking to find somebody, a lot of you are coming into this month kind of allowing yourself to enjoy the dating and meeting new people more than you normally would. Leos are passionate and they have a lot to offer, but they also tend to look for like a specific, like they know what they want, they know what will fit with them. But this month you're kind of like, okay, we've tried this, maybe it's not working out the way you thought. So you're going back to that childlike innocence. You're coming into it going, you know, I am doing good and feeling amazing, and I'm really liking what I'm finding, and I'm really liking just enjoying it and not being so specific about it, not being so you know, reading between, like everything being black and white, but allowing some gray area to get in there. Like maybe this person isn't for you, but who can't use another friend, right? I am getting the sense that some of you, this could be also children coming along, just for those of you who are possibly seeking that, or you know, are in a relationship and that's something you're wanting. This does represent a childlike energy coming in or being, you know, about to come in. So congratulations if that is you. Look, this is the universe saying, if you're feeling, you know, footloose and fancy free, if you're feeling this innocence of, you know, I don't have to do anything unless it makes me feel good. You know, not that you're going to give up all responsibility. You're still going to get up and go to work. You're still going to do the things you need to do. But you're not holding yourself down, and you're giving pretty much everybody a chance. And again, there is innocence in it. So for some of you, maybe that you've split from a relationship and it's been a long time and that's kind of over, and you are innocent to the dating game. You have no idea. It's kind of like a naivety, but it's not in a bad way. It's good. It's, you know, learning how to do this. Although some of you are probably going, no, Dark Dove, that's not good, because the dating scene online, I've done it and it's pretty crazy and it can be pretty tough. But again, you know, I don't see it phasing you. It's kind of like, hey, we can take it all. We can handle it all. So that's definitely good, Leo. You know, continue that responsibly, obviously. Don't, you know, do anything that's going to jeopardize, you know, anything else that you have responsibilities to, children, you know, family, jobs, etc. But I'm hoping you're enjoying what it is you're looking for and the search to discover it. So the next card you have is always internal. So it either clashes or kind of helps the state of mind you're coming into the month with. And you have the Queen of Swords. So that's actually a really powerful card. Again, it's internal, but so it's interesting because you're coming into the month feeling kind of, you know, free and able to enjoy yourself. But inside, you're still trying to do that. Is he or she right for me? Well, you know, look, I don't know about that job. I'm not sure. And I'm not saying that Leos are overly critical of anybody, but you do, again, like I said, know what you want. And so I feel like a lot of you who are seeking, you know, this life partner or somebody to be with, even if it's just dating, again, from the page, some of you are deciding, hey, you know, maybe you graduated from college or maybe even high school, or maybe you graduated, you know, I know that I went back to college late. So, you know, I mean, you could be in your 30s or 40s or even 50s or 60s and you graduated and you're kind of going, hey, I'm just going to have fun this summer. I'm not really looking for anything too serious. So some of you aren't, but I feel like the majority of you are. And so this queen is telling me that some of you are still looking for that, you know, that those things, those traits that you really need or respond to. And so even though you're being on your best behavior, kind of like, I'm going to give this person a chance and I normally wouldn't, and everything's great, inside you're still seeking that clarity. You're still being honest with yourself, which is good. Actually, I mean, don't, you know, if you know that you don't like somebody, there's no feelings there. Don't lead them on just because you're trying to be nice. That's not your style, and it's not good for anybody. But don't be overly critical. Don't assume that just because the first date or the second date doesn't show you everything that you want to see right off the bat, or that you're not falling madly head over heels for this person. It takes time. And I think some of you are really going to find some surprises. It's like you're looking for, you know, an honesty in somebody. And in order to find that, you have to be honest with yourself and with them and with the universe. And they, in turn, will reflect that and put their honest foot forward. They're not playing games. Some of you, I think, are dating, you know, quite a few people, or just out there, you know, checking the scene. And then for others, I feel like you've narrowed it down to one or two specifics. And now you're trying to get, the queen is telling me that some of you are going, okay, I met this, you know, guy or gal, and I don't want to be too critical, but I am going to be, you know, I am going to be looking for something insightful to teach me or tell me more about them so that I can make a decision. Because yes, you know, being overly critical isn't good, but again, going back to that, don't be with somebody that you know. And Leos have that kind of gut that tells you right off the bat. So after a date or two, if it's not something you're interested in, move on. Right now, you just, I feel like Leos are at the point where it's like, you don't owe anybody anything. A lot of you are coming into this month just kind of letting last month or the past few months roll off your shoulders. So allow that. And some of you who've, you know, separated, or you're wondering about your ex, this is you internally still seeking. Maybe you're feeling this like, okay, I'm past it, or even if we can't get back together or whatever, I'll be okay. Or maybe you're happier without them. But the queen tells me that you're still seeking some sort of clarity. Like, what happened? What can I make sure not to bring to the relationship next time? What can I make sure is I'm looking for as a red flag going forward? So some of you have had a few rough months recently, are coming in understanding that it's good to look at what happened, and it's good to make sure you're not making those mistakes again. So the next card you have is always, you know, your past relationships, how they affect your future, how they may still affect you, etc., or traits from that relationship. And you have the devil. So that's interesting. A lot of signs this month have gotten the devil at some placement. This is the perfect placement, I think, for this card, because you don't want the devil in your future. You don't want that to be your outcome. The devil is vices. This is addiction. This is jealousy. So this is your distant past, probably over the last, you know, few years. And this is telling me that a lot of you had a very hard time. Maybe you were with somebody who was depressed or anxious. Maybe you were anxious or depressed. I kind of feel like it was a catch-22. Maybe you were in a relationship with somebody who had a drinking problem, had a drug problem, had a sex addiction, had a jealousy problem. Some of you, you know, couldn't even pee, so to speak, without telling your partner where you were going or what you were up to. And it just became a thing. And you thought at the time it was normal. Some of you, maybe this childlike innocence is coming back because you met that person that is this devil or had that devil type energy when you were so young that you didn't get to experience what it was really like to truly date or fall in love or be in a healthy relationship. And part of that is because this person broke you down. This could be for some of you that you are recovering from an addiction or some sort of vice, you know, and you've gotten over that and you're feeling ready to date and move on. Because I know that I think there's a, you know, a process if you've gone through some sort of rehabilitation or if you've gone through some sort of life-changing event like getting sober, whatever. You have to have you know, a rebirth, so to speak. I don't know, so don't quote me for sure, but I know that there's something about, you know, like owning a plant or a pet and moving on from there. So maybe some of you have jumped to the page where you're able to start dating, you know, sober. So if that is for you, or, you know, if that's something you've overcome, then congratulations, good for you. I know it affects a lot of people. But for a majority of you, I think this is somebody you kind of escaped. And I think you're breathing a breath of fresh air. And again, I think that page, the nest, you know, that childlike innocence is a lot of you who just gave up a lot of years. And again, it was like young and you just thought this was normal. And maybe some of you suffered abuse. Most of it, I feel like, is emotional or manipulation where, you know, finally something rang true. Some of you, I mean, this is usually distant past, the past few years, but for some of you, this may have been 6 or 8 months ago that you got out of this, and now you're kind of feeling like that innocent child again. You're not sure where to go. You're not you're not sure-footed, but you're willing to take the chance because whatever you're going to find now, you believe with all your heart is going to be much better than that. For some of you who are separated, or, you know, you're wondering what your ex is up to, this tells me, I think a lot of your exes have maybe recovered. If not, you know, obviously the opposite is it may have gotten worse. But for some of you who are interested in possibly reconciling, unless this is cleared up, you know, you don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole if it's going to take you back to an unhealthy place. So for those of you who've gotten out of some serious hardships in relationships, which I know that a lot of people have suffered this, but this card tells me that you've been through the ringer. Some people or some signs have gotten, you know, a little bit, not easier past to deal with, because gosh, I mean, what's hard for me might not be hard for you, and what's hard for you may not be hard for me. But the Devil card always tells me that you've suffered more than some. You've suffered more than most to a certain extent. So whatever you've gotten through, Leo, bravo, you know, continue to put one foot in front of the other. You know, allow yourself to be loved and allow yourself to love somebody with open arms, because whatever you went through is not a true depiction of a healthy relationship and what you'll be able to find and what you're worth and what you have to offer. The next card you have is going to be your most recent past, so over the past few weeks, past month or so, and you have the 9 of Cups. Okay, so Leo, that's telling me that if you are dating, maybe that childlike innocence is coming from bliss. The 9 of Cups is all about bliss. It's one of my favorite cards. Every time this gets turned, I always say it's one of my favorites because it's like floating cloud 9. I mean, look at that sky, look at the clouds. The 9 of Cups is happiness. It's right now. It doesn't mean that it lasts forever. I mean, obviously there's always a turn of seasons. Nothing lasts forever. But you're feeling this fulfillment and pleasure the past few weeks. So maybe just getting out there and dating and realizing that whatever you went through the trenches for is done, and you started to realize, gosh, there is some amazing activity out there. Not even just dating. Some of you are really thriving. You're taking trips to the ocean, or you're getting ice cream just because you feel like it, because you can. I read something interesting recently about, we should all be happy because, if you're an adult and you have free will, you can go to the store and buy cake anytime you want. And I know that's interesting to say, and some of you are like, well, I don't like cake, so go buy whatever it is that makes you happy. But it really made me think, like, we can bitch and moan and whine about everything, but I feel like Leos this month are really embracing the little things, like stopping and smelling the roses, or, like I said, go buy cake. If you have a craving at 10 o'clock at night and you can leave without having to hire a babysitter, you can leave without whatever, go get a stinking piece of cake if that's going to make you happy. And I feel like some of you are doing that, and so you're feeling fulfillment on a much higher level than just, hey, I can date now, or hey, things are better. You're starting to realize that potentially you can do what you want, and I think the past few weeks have shown that to you. Some of you, it's been up and down, because I do feel like, I do get a strong sense some of you are still holding on to whatever you were hoping that was coming to fruition, but you're starting to realize that even though it's not, and even though you loved this person, or even though you thought you guys would get through it, and you thought that everything would be fine, you're starting to see things that tell you that even if you don't reconcile, or even if things don't get better, you're going to be okay. And maybe some of you are feeling better than ever because you're doing much better than you thought you were. And you almost feel guilty about that. And you can't feel guilty about that, because that's what all of this is here for, right? We're learning, and the universe is kind of guiding you where you need to be. And right now they're saying it's okay. Feel good. Feel right, because it's not always going to be there, and you've had, you know, turmoil, and you've had ups and downs, and right now, Leo, it feels like it's your time to shine. So the next card you have is going to be in the future, you know, possibilities, and this is in time, so this is over the next, you know, few months, not just for the month of June. And you have the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is interesting. That tells me that while, you know, a lot of you want to meet somebody for the long term, the Seven represents choices and options. So I feel like, Leo, unfortunately for a lot of you who are single, you're just going to have fun. You're just going to embrace it and find new ways to date people. Maybe you've been dating for a while and the online dating isn't working for you, and you're finding new interesting ideas to meet people. And some of you don't want to be tied down. Some of you are, you know, doing what the Queen of Swords, you know, that internal feeling of, I just want some clarity, and I want some insightfulness on the best way to go about meeting people, and how to be the best person I can to put out in the universe what I want. And you're just testing the water. And the Seven of Cups is all about, you know, thinking, wishful thinking, and what can I, what are my possibilities? What does the future hold? So some of you might meet, you know, Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, but some of you are just gonna kind of have fun, and you're gonna weigh your options instead of being, you know, the person who always knows what they want and is always looking for certain things and always has certain expectations. You're not. You're weighing your options and your choices. And some of you are facing some major temptation, although take that as a heed, you know, heed the warning of the Seven of Cups. While it's a fun card, and it's enjoying yourself, and it's enjoying other people, and it's meeting other people, if you put out into the universe that you want lust or sex or a physical relationship, that's what you're going to get back. So don't be upset if that's something you put out into, you know, you get hot and heavy with somebody, or you put that out into the universe. You know, your profile is all about, you know, the lustful part of a relationship. If those are the type of people you're attracting, that's how it works. You're going to put out what you get. So don't be surprised if this person isn't falling head over heels for you, because you're giving them signals that you're very interested in a physical relationship. And some of you are, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a healthy part for everybody, right? That's how we're supposed to feel, to a certain degree. So if you've been in this double relationship and it's done and it's taking you time to get over it, or whatever the case, or maybe, you know, you're separated and you're seeking clarity, and you know you're not going to be together for a while, maybe you have somebody who is addicted or has problems and they're going through rehab and stuff, and you're like, you know, we'll see how they are on the flip side coming out of that, but right now I deserve to have some fun. So maybe for you, it is going to be more about the flirting, the romance, just having fun. Maybe it is going to be physical for right now, and maybe that's all you need or all you can handle. Just make sure Leo, you're not putting yourself in a position that you're going to get hurt again. And that's what I worry about, you know, the most. For a lot of you, this is, you know, graduating. And so the next few months, you're going to be taking trips before you have to go to college. You're going to be taking trips before, you know, maybe your kids are going off to college for the first time. And so you're planning family vacation this summer. This is kind of an exciting time for Leo. The 7 is representing all sorts of possibilities. Maybe you are turning 21, you know, in end of July, August, and you're going to take a trip to Vegas. Whatever it is, it's going to be fun and it's going to be enjoyable. I don't see, again, this being super serious. For some of you, it is. For some of you, if you're coupled, this is you guys enjoying yourself and taking a vacation together. Maybe, you know, you've taken certain strides and you've both graduated, or maybe you're both going to be leaving for college, but you want one last hurrah, you know, over the summer. Whatever the case, things are definitely looking good for the future, Leo. So the next card you have is going to be the immediate future. So what's going to happen towards the end of June? And you have the 8 of Coins. Okay, so this kind of makes perfect sense because this is you having fun and going and doing what you want in the next few months. This is you working really hard to get there. So some of you have finished exams, you're graduating, you know, you're entering June as a graduate, or you're entering June, you know, working your butt off. Maybe you're a single parent and you're going to take, you know, your kid to Disneyland or something for the first time over the summer, because again, the 8 of Coins tells me that right now what you're doing is working diligently. The 8 of Coins is all about duty, is all about taking care of business, making money, making things happen. And again, you have the 7, which says fun is coming. So some of you are, you know, whatever the case is, you're planning and you're saving up for that, and you're working really hard right now because you know in a little bit you're going to be able to play pretty hard. It's interesting. So for this does ring true for couples for me, that a lot of you are planning a vacation maybe you could never afford, and you've both just kind of headstrong moved into it, said we're going to do this, and then it's going to come to fruition with the 7 of Cups. For singles, same type of thing. I think you're working really hard at your physical job and making things happen, but you're also doing that so that you have the ability to maybe have extra money to go out on, you know, some dates, because again, the 7 is all about options, choices, and whatnot, and you know, you have to have a little cushion, I guess, or a little bit extra if you're going to be dating all these amazing people. So, you know, again, I think right now you're working really hard, and I can't get the graduating and stuff out of my head. So I think a lot of you are, you know, you're coming into June ready to put that cap and gown on and ready to take it to the next step, but you're going to spend a lot of time having fun in the summer before you have to get serious again. So good for you. It's so for 1 or 2 of you, this is also, and I don't know, it could be more, but this is also some of you working really hard because you're planning something very extravagant, like an overseas trip or some cruise that you couldn't afford. Some of you are dating, and maybe you guys off the cuff said, hey, in the next 2 months, you know, we really like each other. We're not too serious yet. This isn't like an engagement necessarily, but, you know, oh, well, I'll finish that in a second. But, you know, you're just wanting to have fun, but maybe you're going to take a cruise or something, you know, go to Ireland or something like that. But that just, all of a sudden, I got like a little reflection, and it was, you know, that some of you are getting married or planning an engagement. Again, I'm not sure it's the majority of you, but I do see that it's, you know, that 7 is telling me there's a party or there's celebration, and right now you're like, we can't spend a penny because we've got to be able to afford this. So makes sense too, you know, for a lot of you, I think that, well, a few of you, I think that rings true. And a lot of you could just be celebrating, period, and you're saving up to celebrate. So could be other celebrations, could be, I just got bar mitzvahs and things like that. So good times coming, Leo, but right now you're going to have to work towards it or put some extra effort into making sure the finances and everything else are in line. Or maybe you're having to work extra hard so you can take a little extra time off to be able to have fun over the summer. So the next card you have is future external factors. So things that are a little more tangible that can affect your outcome, or things that you might face. And you have the Ace of Coins. So the Ace of Coins is potential. This is about prosperity. So this 8 of coins that you're working, you know, so hard to make the money and whatnot, it's going to pay off, because the Ace of Coins represents prosperity. So this is also beginnings and opportunity. So here we are again, you're dating and the opportunities are out there. I feel like this is you, kind of like you've planted the seed and you're growing and you're grabbing hold of these potential opportunities, potential suitors to date, and just potentials in general. This tells me too, some of you, maybe you're moving abroad to work, or maybe you're, you know, graduating, like I've reiterated, you know, 5-10 times now. Maybe you're graduating and there's all these jobs and different things you can do, and you're applying and you're making things happen before you go out of town, before you take a trip, or before you know, plan whatever it is you're planning. This is also, you know, beginnings for people who are coupled, who are going to have the wedding, or who are moving in that direction, or have the engagement. This is, I mean, the potential is there. And this is telling you, Leo, that whatever opportunity presents itself, if it feels good and you make it happen, it's going to be a good thing. It's going to be prosperous. If you haven't dated in forever and you put your foot out there and, you know, you're just letting your feet get wet to see what it's like, you're going to find some new beginnings. You know, if you're separated and you're wondering, should I get back together with this person? Should I not? I mean, unfortunately, I hate to say it, because I know maybe a lot of you are hoping that I'm going to say, yes, you know, it's coming back. But everything in this is kind of like start over. You know, the opportunities are abundant, and this is a little seed that's growing. Give it some water and some sunlight, and it'll grow into whatever plant, whatever thriving, you know, future you want. And so, again, I kind of feel like, and this isn't a guarantee of success. So the Ace is the possibilities, but you have to nurture it and get it there. So this isn't instantly you decide you want to, you know, find a new, you want a soulmate and you're going to meet a soulmate. No, you have to work at it, just like everything else. But I think for people who are separated or wondering if there's ever going to be a reconciliation, I really think this is a shot for you, a shot at a new relationship. Some of you, this is a shot at a new job. You know, this is excitement. This is energy to do something bigger. So, you know, it's like, don't feel discouraged that this is just, you know, this little plant and it hasn't grown into something amazing, or it hasn't become fruitful or whatever, because it will get there. So you just have to keep going and keep this childlike knowing that things can be good again and things can be amazing. So there's a lot of potential here. It's just up to you. And maybe it's just where you need to be, and moving on is the only way you're going to find who you really are and what possibilities there are for you in life. The next card you have is going to be internal factors. Anything that maybe you're feeling that might, you know, set you off kilter or make you feel better. And you have the Two of Wands. So, I mean, this reading is actually really good, because this is the planning card. This is looking forward. I mean, this is embracing everything. This is goals. So, come on. I mean, this is telling me some of you getting a promotion. Again, a lot of you graduating, or maybe your kids are graduating. Maybe, you know, you're worried, what are they going to do? And they're planning. They've got it all together, and you don't have to worry about it. Or maybe you're helping them with all that, and it feels amazing to see. You're looking forward, going, oh my gosh, you know, my kids are going to do amazing. Or, you know, there's so much potential here for them, and they're really doing this. And so, and for a lot of you singles, I think you're not only taking in this fun of dating and having a good time and knowing that you can kind of be footloose and fancy free, but you're also going, okay, but I have things I want to do. So with or without somebody, you know, maybe that's why you're not necessarily going to meet somebody too serious right now. And again, that's not for everybody, but some of you aren't really looking for it because you have other goals in mind. You have things you want to do before you're going to let love in. Maybe this has been something that affected you so deeply that now it's like a rebirth, and you're living for you, and good for you, because everybody needs to do that every once in a while. Have you ever just come home and thought, gosh, I feel like I'm pulled in 20 different directions and I'm doing stuff for everybody but me, that's pretty important for you to look at and say, nope, I need to focus on me. And this Two of Wands is focusing on you. Now for couples, this is focusing on a lot of things. This tells me some of you are newly coupled, some of you are newly engaged, again, planning celebrations, maybe there's weddings, and you're looking to buy a house. You are looking to have kids. You are like officially planning and making things happen, or setting, you know, okay, we're going to get married, and then maybe, you know, in 2 years when we've added to the nest egg or whatnot, then we'll have a child. But this is excellent. This tells me that your head is in the right space. You're working hard, you're planning and making goals, possibilities are endless. So, you know, amazing. This is kind of like you can do what you want this month, and it looks like it's going to go on for quite a while. So the last two cards are always your hopes and fears and your outcome for the month. So your hopes and fears for June is going to be the Three of Cups, and your outcome is the Ace of Swords. So the Three of Cups is actually about celebration, friendship, parties. So there's definitely something that a lot of you are celebrating, whether you're single, whether you're coupled, whether you're, you know, it's separated and wondering if you're going to reconcile. You're enjoying time. So celebration, celebration, celebration. Marriages, parties, maybe it's even birthdays coming up. Maybe you have not had a birthday that just kicked ass for a long time, and you were like, you know what, I am saving this money and we are going to party in 2 months or 3 months if it's, you know, closer to the August section. And this is good, and that's kind of your hopes. That's you're looking to have fun. So gosh, you know, Leo, whatever this is, or whatever it was, or whatever has kept you from being you and allowing you to enjoy, you know, all the possibilities. It's amazing because it feels like you're not going to let it hold you down anymore. You've turned this leaf and you're excited. You're going to build friendships too. Some of you might even find that the more that you open up, the more that you say, hey, this is what I went through, you're going to find other people who did too, and you're going to build friendships that are unbelievable. Unfortunately, some of it's going to be based on bad pasts or things that you've been through. And a lot of you, if you're separated and it was really hard and you're not going to reconcile, and you know that now, excuse me, you're reaching out to friends going, you know, this is really hard on me, and I have never been through anything like this. Maybe you're with this person for like 10 years. Maybe you have kids together, and you're going, hey, I don't know how to deal with this, which understandably so. Nobody's ever ready for something like that to happen, a divorce or separation or whatever the case may be. And you're reaching out to people, and you're going to find that there's a lot of people out there who have been there, and they just want somebody to talk to and listen to. And you just want somebody to talk to and listen to. So you're going to start forming bonds with people, not even just, you know, this is celebration of moving in together, mainly marriages, maybe kids graduating, etc. Again, whatever it is, it's positive for everybody all the way around. And the outcome of the month is the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is power. That is exactly what it is. It's clarity, it's logic. So not only are you doing hard work, putting in the due diligence. Again, if you're single, excuse me, this is you knowing that if you want to date, date. And if you don't want to date, kick them all to the curb. And if somebody doesn't make you feel good, screw them. You're not going out with them again. But if somebody's not exactly what you thought and they're not perfect, you're going to be looking at them and going logically, are they everything I wanted? No. But do they deserve a chance? And could it develop into something? Yes. You're also looking at things going, you know, where's my career? Or what am I heading to? You know, did you just start a career? Are you looking for something different? You know, what you're going to be able to put your priorities in a place that's going to be very clear to you. So yes, if you want to date, go out and have fun. And if you're not looking for anything serious, you know, you'll take it or leave it. And if you're looking for something serious, you're going to be kind of getting your ducks in a row and knowing where you need to be in every aspect of your life. Again, I get the sense of single parents too. So maybe some of you are just kind of like, okay, I'm a single parent now. I'm not quite sure what to do. I haven't done this in a long time. I haven't dated. And this could be for people who are separated or, you know, have are now single. I say separated because some people are single, but they don't really consider themselves single because maybe not everything has been completely disconnected, or maybe they're hoping for a reconciliation down the road. And so their heart is more geared towards the person that they're still yearning for, but they're starting to realize they need to have fun, let themselves go, see what else is out there. So there's a difference to me between singles and people who are separated or looking to reconcile, because you may be single, but you're not truly looking to maybe meet somebody else. Maybe you're connected on a soul level with somebody else and you're not ready to move on, but you know that you deserve to enjoy yourself too. And again, it could be somebody who needs to get their stuff together, or maybe they're working on it, or maybe they're not working on it, but you know, in 5 years, if they don't clean up their act, they're going to end up dead or, you know, in prison or something. And it doesn't have to be that dramatic, but for some of you it is, and you know it. And I know that there are a few of you sitting there going, yeah, you know what? My ex is on a scary level, and I'm not going to live the rest of my life hoping that that person comes out of it. If they want to do that to themselves, they can, but they're not going to do it to me. They're not going to do it to my kids. They're not going to do it to my family. They're not going to do it, etc. And so you've realized that you have to enjoy yourself and live your life. And if it ever comes to fruition, great. And I think that's what you're doing. And for singles, same thing. I think you're kind of getting your priorities straight. If you have a lot of work to do this week, you're not going to go online. You're not going to go on dates. If you don't have a lot, you're going to explore. You're going to go have fun. Maybe some of you are casually dating 1 or 2 people, and you've put it out there that, look, I'm not getting very serious with anybody because I have a lot of things I'm working on, including yourself. But, you know, you do want the companionship. You do want to have the fun romance. You do want the butterflies in your stomach for a first kiss. And, you know, for couples, I think this is same thing. Well, same thing, but not. I think this is more of a clarity and a logic. I think that if you're coupled and you're a Leo, you know what the next move is. So again, that's where the celebration, the marriages, those are coming in. All of a sudden, it's like in June, you're going, why am I not marrying this person? Why are we not living together? Why are we not building a family together? It's all of a sudden just going to kind of come to you like, I love this person. So what are we doing? I mean, life is short. So let's make things happen. All right, Leo, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a fantastic month. I'll catch you in a week or two with your 5-minute blip. But again, take care. Have a great month. I'll talk to you soon.